All right. Hi, everyone. So I closed the fundraiser thing, and I was amazed by by how quickly it filled up. Um, it had a it had like a default setting of like 30 days or something like that, and then I just closed it this morning. Um, it's absolutely incredible how quickly that moved. Um, and absolutely incredible the kindness of you all, and the support. Um, I'll tell you a story. So I remember when I just before I moved to Northern Ireland, um, from Scotland. I used to work in a very similar place to where I work now. I'd been there for, I think, maybe something like 3 years. And, I'd kind of um, built a relationship with the staff. Um, there was a health centre, so the members, um, in that community, I'd kind of built a relationship with that community. And I didn't really feel anything about moving away. It was just like it didn't cross my mind at all. Um, and I just kind of got used to doing what I was doing, I guess. But um, as I was leaving, or as I was about to leave, it kind of became apparent to me. And it was like, I guess the main way was, um, people interacting with me, because they knew I was leaving. And there was like a social media page, and on that social media page, there had been like a news post that I was leaving, and then it just got like filled with, like, overnight, with reams and reams of members of this health club, this community, um, just basically showing their appreciation and expressing their sadness that I was leaving. Um, and there was kind of like a realization there, so to speak, that uh, you know it was something that I felt as part of the job, connecting with people and providing a service. That was obviously the reason why I was doing it, but I didn't realize how much it meant to people. And how, um, I guess you could say, like, how valuable, uh, socially, that was to people. And me being there and what I was doing there. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize how people appreciated, um, me being there doing what I was doing. And that's, this is a personal thing. This is like a separate selves story. But my point is that, the feeling that I got from that, um, it kind of changed me a bit. This was before the whole awakening thing. It kind of changed me a bit. It was, I guess I would describe it as a feeling of connection and appreciation, a feeling of love, and like, I guess you could say, um, purpose or something like that, or belonging, something like that. And those are all interpretations, but what I'm pointing to is the feeling of it. I got this kind of overwhelming feeling of gratitude, and that I recognize that feeling, or part of that feeling, as the feeling of all of this in deep realization, the feeling of support of the entire universe as it is here right now. And the opening from that came through the kindness of people, or people expressing their appreciation, or expressing their love, essentially, their feelings. That thinned a lot of the kind of stories that I had about my own narrative, that were just kind of obscuring what was important there. And I felt it, like I really felt it deeply. And my colleagues threw a little party for me, and it was quite emotional. So we had like a kind of leaving party thing in work. And like the whole time, I was, because this feeling was so strong, I was just kind of fighting it. I was trying to avoid expressing it, and kind of put on a front of, I don't know what you would call it, like to kind of suppress and hide my actual feelings, because it's vulnerable. It was too vulnerable for me at that time. I didn't feel safe enough in myself to actually express that. So I kind of held it down. And then, once the situation was over, once I was driving home, the whole thing kind of hit me. And like I just started crying in the car. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I pulled over, and then I messaged, and this wasn't at a point where I could do this directly, but I felt safe enough to message into the work chat and just say like I've, I'm emotional about this. I just started crying in the car, because I was like, I'm not keeping that to myself. That's not authentic. It's not honest, and it's holding back the feeling of love and appreciation from everyone else, everyone that it's like, holding back the gratitude and the love, pretty much holding that back, holding that inside, trying to keep it separate. So my point in that is that the emotion, the sensation, was the kind of gateway into that loving kindness type thing. And I think that was definitely something that was pivotal, because not long after I moved over here, this whole awakening thing started moving. It was after having that experience, but I'd never really had before. I'd never really felt like I'd belonged in that way before. Like the feeling of that thinned the boundaries of separation, and the sensation, because everyone who was involved was feeling it. Some of them were courageous enough to express it, and I wasn't. So and then not long after that, before I moved across, my dad died as well. So those two things, this is just a wee bit of a backstory, those two things were openings for me, and they dismantled the kind of the front that I had been putting up, this separate barrier that I had been carrying around with me all my life, really. And again, my point is that that's the feeling that I'm feeling You know, that's that's what's driving this whole thing. You know, why this is. I always see it, the universe moving as one, um, moving together, um, into this kind of the conscious clarity, and it just has nothing to do with separate people in the way that the identity works. It just has nothing to do with that. Like, it's not a separate people thing. It's just it's a human thing, and also an unhuman thing, and that's what I feel. You know, emotion wise, from the support that everyone's given me, and that's what I feel all the way through when I'm connecting with everyone. It's driven by a love for truth. Nothing else is important. Nothing else is, I don't think, important. It's just happening the way it is, and it's beautiful. It's perfect. So yeah, I'm really moved by everyone's support in a way that you know, I have to tell a story to kind of try and illustrate the depth of it. All the way through, like, this is the, you know, it's the most incredible thing for, you could say, awakening. It starts off as a personal journey, but I can't describe the experience of the feeling of this transcending the barriers of limitation, and this happening transcendent of individual people. You know, it's not like, it's like a human thing, but it goes beyond the human thing. You know, it's like, it's something I can't describe. That whatever that is, whatever this is, you know, that's why it's happening. That's why it's happening. And it's just a lesson that keeps on teaching. Like, the moral of the story is, you know, accept support. Don't resist support. When it's there for you, it's not really skillful. Like, when it's recognized, because everything is supporting everything ultimately. But when it gets recognized, when it gets noticed, then there is a chance for it to become personal. And when it becomes personal, it becomes limited. So in recently in this so far, like the other video I posted, I've noticed that conditioning coming up again. The conditioning that says, I'm doing this on my own. It's felt, it's not like really cognitive, but you know, this habit that is just there, informed by separation, saying that, you know, you're doing things on your own. This is a personal journey, and it's just not. It's just not. But the tendency of that conditioning, it still is appearing for me. And recently, with this, it's moved a few times, and it's just had to be inquired into spontaneously. And I'm like, is this true? Like, what? You can feel when you can just feel it. The inquiry becomes so intuitive, so spontaneous and subtle. You can just feel it when there's something there, and you're like, oh, there's something. I can feel the signature again. It very much has the flavour of resistance. But yeah, that's moved a couple times for me recently, but it's perfect. It's perfect because that's just how this is deepening. And it's deepening as one. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to go and get a laptop. So and with your donations, I'll be able to get like a decent high spec one, like a really good one. So it won't be long. I'll be completely set up, and then we'll be able to do everything that we want to do. So I'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you next time.